what is it? It won't destroy the relationship or the friendship if you just bounce on it as a friend.
That's what
Just a
Damon
little.
said to me at the Gathering Madness.
Yeah. That's why I had to borrow the helmet, because he wanted to do it underneath the rafters. It's fucking dangerous. Sorry about the scuff mark. Not on the helmet, on Damon.
Both.
Said it was like bumping uglies with a Brillo pad. I'm like, I don't know what to do for you, sir. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Black Tower Podcast.
Hold on
A Wheel
a
of
sec.
Time
I'm going to
podcast.
the shit Andrew says. It's like
that's a good segue kind of thing. Well, before we get into that, I'm Andrew. I'm your Bajan Mahal, and tonight I'm your tough love specialist. Maybe I should change it to like abrasive love specialist.
definitely.
Fucking 80 grit sandpaper. Let's see how long you last. Somebody else say hi, please.
I like it. I'm gonna let it ride.
Let it ride, baby.
Sounds like road rash.
Oh.
Okay.
Look.
I'm Reese Sedai. I'm your Ethan Mahale. Gloved for my pleasure.
You know, I encourage that. More people should worry about their own and just take charge of it.
That's right.
I get mine. Maybe if you were better, you'd get yours
Own
too.
your own pleasure.
That's what I say. I say, like, I got mine. I don't know why you didn't get yours. Maybe you should practice more. You just didn't want it bad enough.
All right. Well, we've been recording for 6 minutes, and we've been canceled twice. Cool. Cool. I'm Josh. I'm the Soroban Mahale. I'm your ride or die. Preferably ride. And
See, it all comes full circle.
it's like a wheel.
It's like a wheel.
No beginning or end.
You know, triangle, there's ends, but like a
And
circle.
we are the Mahales, the tainted Mahales of the Black Tower podcast, and we are here to squirt the Dark One's taint directly into your ears and or eyes. So
It'd be great
thank
if
you
that was the spoiler warning for this episode.
for being here.
In drastic contrast, since we just mentioned spoiler warning, we'll go ahead and do it now. Here's your spoiler warning for this episode. The illustrious Kate and Michael.
This episode contains spoilers from the entire Wheel of Time series.
If you have not read the series, you are at risk of being spoiled.
You have been warned.
Oh, I like Eamon chiming in. You prefer to ride, but more likely to die. Oh.
He's not wrong. And then people say, but Josh, how are you still kicking? And I'm like, because it only takes one.
Well, it only takes one click.
Life and death
access.
are the same in that way. It only takes one time to make it stick.
It also only takes one click for you to get access to all of the Black Tower podcasts. I've gone over to blacktowerpod.com and you can find all of our socials. You can find the Patreon, the Discord, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever, Blue Sky. All that shit is linked on the website where you can just get access to all the stuff. There's merch store for you to check out. We're working on adding shit to it. We're still working on it. It takes a while. Whenever you use actual people and not AI for your merch kind of stuff. But head on over there. It's awesome. It's fun. It's cool. It's neat. It may be updated. I don't know. I haven't looked in forever. I say, oh, go check it out. It's cool. And then I look and I don't look at it for forever.
It's fair.
generally-
I haven't updated it since the Gathering Madness. But
2024.
so everything is fairly recent.
Okay. Yeah. The pictures are still Gathering Madness 2024.
Oh shit.
Which is cool because it says the desk. It's like it's Robert Jordan's desk that you see. So it's kind of cool. But we need to update that. We need to update the roster of the Black Tower there. Get all that going and updated and stuff. Also, stickers were sent out last week, so they should be arriving shortly if they have not already arrived. So
Hell
look out
yeah.
for that. Hopefully you all get them with no problem. We'll see if any of them get rejected and sent back. And again, physical merch is slightly on hold until we get some designs made, because otherwise we're going to send you stuff that we've already sent you before, and I don't like doing that. So yeah, which is also just a great excuse as for why it's taken us a little bit.
Hooray.
It's true.
Okay, all that being said,
All that
Reese,
being said.
not too long ago, we started, I think it was like, what, episode 8? As I'm trying to hurry up and get back to the recording schedule that I just closed for no fucking reason. Oh, episode 9. Episode 9, we started a conversation that we didn't finish, and now we're here to finish it.
That's
You
right.
want to tell the people what we're talking about?
Yes, I do. In case you missed it the first time, like me. It's White Cliff versus the Black Tower. Brotherhood. Dude.
Ooh.
Look at that stoic man. Look at those cute chiefies.
Oh.
Look at that. Not nearly as phallic as the White Tower in the background.
Oh.
Oh, dude, I did triceps today, and my triceps fucking hurt. Well, triceps are part of the workout. I only did like 2 pure tricep workouts, but
All right. My last
set was like 15 reps of 160 pounds.
Ooh.
Now that hurt. But I also got my wrist straps in, so that's better for bench press. Anyway, we're not talking about me. We're talking about the other Black Tower.
Yeah, the one that matters. We're talking about the Black Tower that matters.
Yeah. Not the one I see when my vision starts to fade because I push too hard in the gym and I'm just like, eh.
Exactly.
So,
You get it.
this whole part 1, part 2 thing is because we only got through, like Reese said, the White Tower last time. We're talking about White Cloaks versus Black Tower through the lens of kind of brotherhood, belonging, and men's mental health. Which organization does it better? What are the pros and cons of each, and how can we look at it? We have some characters that we use as case studies to help illustrate the points as to how things work in each organization. Last episode was the White Tower. That's all we made it through. Not White Tower, White Cloaks.
White Cloaks.
White something. Who cares? It's got white in the name. It doesn't matter.
Probably pretty.
So, yeah, probably. I think both of those organizations experience a tremendous amount of privilege. It's a privilege we don't talk about, and we should. But the Black Tower is a fair stark contrast to the White Cloaks, because this is a brotherhood that's forged in fear and trauma in the early days. It's pretty rough. Like the status quo at the Black Tower is if you start going insane, you just get killed. Like here's some line,
So,
or once you hit a point of madness where you're no longer like useful, and it's
Is it-
portrayed as like a mercy. Which it may
let
be.
me ask really quick. Is it really founded in fear and trauma, or is it more founded in sort of an acceptance, right? I mean, you talk to anybody who's got a terminal illness and they get to a point where they go, you know what? I accept this. This is how I'm going to meet my end. And that's okay.
Option.
And I almost wonder if the Black Tower, because keep in mind,
It's like the
you've got, if you're a man who figures out that he can channel in the books, your future is to be ostracized, to be, kicked out, executed in many cases. And honestly, the best option for you is to, yeet yourself off a cliff. And the Black Tower is at its foundation. You'd almost say it's a hospice ward, right? But it's a hospice
I
ward.
just pulled a really long beard hair that was attached to my lower lip, pulled it out, and it
Sweet.
really, really fucking hurt.
You can almost say
There's
it's a
her right
hospice
there.
ward that offers its patients the opportunity to do something good with their lives. Now, is it much of a choice?
Yeah.
Probably not, because it's literally the only opportunity they have to do something good, and maybe the only guarantee they have that they're not going to hurt someone they love.
Yes,
So,
that's it. It's an option to allow them to not choose certain death for a chance to do something good first. Death is certain, but if they choose what has been offered so far, life is much, much shorter, and they're probably not going to be around their family.
yeah.
If you don't do that, they'll murder their whole family.
It's almost like, so male channeling is definitely taboo, and it's almost like a promise of like, hey, you're taboo, you're intrinsically dangerous, poisonous, and a bad thing. But you can come here and do a good thing, and the light might smile on you when you die because you were trying to do a good thing with a curse, basically.
And you can do it.
But I do think
with your family, and will like protect your family from you.
Yeah. But I do think it still fits to say that it's forged in that fear and trauma in the early days, because you know there had to be part of the recruiting tactics that are like, oh, you can channel, well, you can come with us, where we'll guide you and you can become a useful tool for the dragon to help save all of humanity, or you can stay here and probably kill your family, if not the entire village.
Yeah.
And die as just a murderer, just like Luce-Thair and Kinslayer. You'll just be the local Kinslayer of your village because you chose to deny the invite. And that's I think that definitely fits how Mazrim Taim and just the feeling of channeling it, because there was no indication or idea or concept even that it would ever, Saidin would ever be cleansed. It would be safe to be a male channeler again. So definitely the fear, and I think the trauma comes from, like, brought there by fear, and I think the trauma initially comes from Mazrim Taim's like ludicrously harsh training regimen. Like there are men that come to the tower to hopefully not kill their family, that go mad within weeks, whereas otherwise left in their village, it probably would have lived for years potentially before it got to the same degree.
Now there you have a very good example of an extreme, stark difference, right? The recruiting, the motivation for joining. Literally, for men who can channel, joining the Black Tower is their last chance at some kind of semblance of normalcy. They're not going there looking for camaraderie. They're not looking to join the cause, at least not initially. They're not looking to do anything other than find a safe place to be.
Yeah.
When you join the White Cloaks, it's exactly what you're looking for. It's just like joining your local military or your local militia. I'm looking for camaraderie. I'm looking for training. I'm looking for education. I'm looking for the potentiality of my future. I'm going to get necessary job skills. And you know what? Maybe if we can take out a couple of those channelers, because they're bad news. I mean, that's not cool. So right there, like right off the bat, we have our first stark difference in sort of the founding, or sort of the way we are led into these two organizations.
Yeah, you mentioned hospice earlier, and that made me think, like, because hospice has like a really like kind, nurturing kind of mentality to it, which it should. It absolutely should. This is more like, I think maybe a better name would be, it starts off and it's like, Taim's home for the terminally ill and dying. Send your dying husband, father, son here, and we'll just make sure he doesn't hurt anyone else until he dies. It's basically like a thing. Like, the IO send theirs off to spit in sight blinder's eye, blah, blah, blah. And it actually turns out they've just been feeding the shadow potential dreadlords for decades. Hundreds of years now.
The Dark Lord's like, thanks for feeding me all the kills, noobs.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. I've got 800 dreadlords that are well trained and protected from madness. Joke's on you. But yeah, like, that's the early day tower instead of the farm. I think the alternate proposed name was definitely Taim's farm for the terminally ill and dying.
Yeah.
Send us your male channelers, your ragged wretches of male magic. We welcome them with chains and poison wine and the trader's tree. Like,
what?
It's pretty
That's not
shitty.
a very welcoming place.
Yeah, but also the alternative is you go insane where you are, and you murk your family, friends, and village potentially.
Well, and that's why I say, is it much of a choice? It's not. It is still a choice, right? You always have a choice.
Yeah,
but
it's just like a very easy choice.
Well,
it's like the difference between somebody saying, like,
now.
you're going to shit your pants, but you can do it in just your underwear and pants, or we can give you this diaper. You're still gonna shit your pants, but this will protect
keep you
your
in close
pants
proximity
from
to a
shit.
shower.
Yeah, and you'll be right next to the shower, so the cleanup will be easier.
That's actually a really apt metaphor, though.
It's kind of funny fucked, but like you will shit your pants, but we can make cleanup easier.
Do you want to shit your pants at work in front of people? Or
Hey, the titles have finally worked.
And
I've
I
been
think another
silently
part of
waiting.
this-
Huh? Sorry.
I think another part of this is like, it's like a sanctuary too. Some of these people, they've been running, they're being hunted. Maybe they haven't really started channeling much yet, but the red already knows it. They're already after them, and they've been going from town,
Yeah.
and now they're like, this is their safe haven. This is their place that they can be somewhere. And like, as funny as it is about
Notre Dame.
like they're all gonna go down, but you know what? At least this time it'll mean something. Like they're not gonna go down just because they have to.
yeah,
They can be a part of something and take
yes.
motherfuckers down with them. Like that's
I now need
like,
a meme from the Hunchback of Notre Dame of like Judge Frollo looking down at baby Quasimodo, and it's just like a male Chandler's like, oh, it's hideous. It's just like
I think
the red Aja hanging, like holding him over the well.
well, and
And,
actually, I
and
was,
like
I
Rand
was
steps in
wondering
with his
that.
amnesty, and it's like, what are you doing? Sitting? It's an unholy demon.
You
I'm sending
are
it back to hell.
deformed,
I was kind
and
of
you
wondering,
are ugly.
what about like any of these channelers who have families? Like if they have children, if they have male children, you have to wonder if maybe those kids will start channeling too.
Is that why Taim early on from the start says you can bring your family with you? He like made it like it's an easy thing so you can more readily live with your family and protect it.
Maybe.
But is part of it also because he's like, if we live long enough, some of your kids are going to be channelers and they'll already be here.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, that,
Ezra Taim
If it was
starting to think
thinking
about
that
child
long
soldiers.
term. If it was, yeah, that long term, but maybe. But that was my thought. Like the families, yeah. If he's channeling, little Harpo might start channeling soon too.
not much fun for little Harpo.
Not much for little Harpo.
What's that? You had a crazy dream and you set your house on fire? Your training begins now.
we have an opportunity for you.
You're telling me little Timmy had a crazy dream and then the house caught on fire?
You walk into the recruiter's office and they start asking you the questions. So, do you think you're fit? Do you think you could do like push-ups? Like, what if you were in a combat situation? You think you could handle that? Like they start asking you all the questions. Like I could just see it. Like Hagrid asking Harry, "Do you ever make anything happen when you were scared or angry?" You're a channeler, Harry.
I picture like you remember the scene in American Sniper where he like walks into like the Navy recruiter and he's like, "Have you heard about the SEALs, son?" like that kind of shit. Which is also like hilarious because he gets to like the marksmanship portion of training. It's also completely unrealistic because he would have been without tobacco for so long that it would have gone away. But he gets to the point in like fucking training where he's shooting and he can't hit the mark unless he's got a fucking dip in his lip. But that's real. Like I have met people that are like that. You don't let them have like tobacco when they try to shoot and they suck. It's like people that are only good at pool when they've had a couple beers. It's the fucking wildest thing.
You got to get in the golden zone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In the golden zone. The golden zone sounds like this.
It does. And you just got to not break the golden seal too early.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Let's get into some case studies here with the White Tower or Black Tower.
I'm excited about this first one.
Go ahead, Josh. Take it off.
I'm excited about this first one because this one is kind of what we're talking about, right? A little bit of a different situation.
I would hope so.
We've got a situation here where we got a man by the name of Dahmer Flynn, and he is old. He is in
It's not the first one, but all right.
Isn't he the first to be tested?
Oh yeah, I was talking about like the case studies as we have them laid out in the outline.
Is he not the first case study?
He's the second case study that we have outlined, which is fine. We can do them in whatever order we want.
My bad. Sorry.
No, you're fine, dude. Go with it.
Well, I'm doing it.
At least you said a name that is still one of the case studies. It would have sucked if you were like,
Hey, this is progress.
so we're going to talk about Dashiva. It's like, but no.
That was next.
Bad choice.
And I just think Dashiva gets a bad rap. You know, he's not really a bad guy.
Dashiva is the guy
because
that
he's-
shows up in class and acts like he knows nothing but is excelling at everything.
Uh-huh. So Dahmer Flynn, I like Dahmer Flynn because going along with the theme of the conversation here, he's an old man. He's a retired soldier. His leg, he limps because he had a leg injury that
Not
never really
connected in terms of the VA.
You're right. According to the VA, is not service connected, and therefore, sorry, we will not give you a rate.
Sorry, do you think that this injury is related to my service?
How about no?
But he is in his sunset years, retired, and basically just hanging out, waiting to die. Like, he does not have a lot going on. He hears about this opportunity to come check it out, and he goes, you know what? I've always been pretty lucky. Why don't I go give it a shot? Shows up to the farm, because it was just the farm, and I think it was like 4 other dudes at the time, and spends time at the farm not knowing if he can channel or not. Like, the man settles in for his new life at the farm before he even knows if he belongs. By the time Rand brings Taim there, I think they've been there for a few weeks at least, and Taim basically teaches Rand how to find a channeler by testing Dahmer Flynn. And Dahmer Flynn is the first to be tested and the first to be found to be able to channel. And this is interesting to me with connection to our previous conversation, because here we have a man who already was ready to kind of sit down and yell at the kids to get off his lawn. He was ready to be done. He was ready to retire. He was ready to just kind of hang out. Then he finds out he can channel, and I guess this is probably the most optimistic, right? Because he's given new purpose. He's already accepted his fate. He's already prepared to die because he's old, but now he's been given this new calling, this new, thing that he is now supposed to do. And he now has new purpose in life. He has new direction. And I really love Dahmer Flynn because I think he's the only one who comes into the tower excited or happy to be there. Because he already knows he's going to die. But now he has purpose. Now he knows he can accomplish something else before he dies. And I like that.
He comes in like immediately skeptical of everything. Like initially, like he's really skeptical. Like, there's no way this is true, because the dude's got decades of military experience. He's like, there's no way.
Right.
And then like he's an older guy, whatever. I just saw this from him, and Black Tower VA sucks. Look, we have limited Andorran crowns. Not everybody can get all of them.
Right. And Queen Elaine doesn't consider us veterans of the Andorran army, whatever that means.
But like, he is different than all the other recruits beyond just being like older than all of them and having military experience. Like, he also like views channeling already as like a weapon system that requires control, not just some other shit. So he's not worried about being intoxicated by the power of channeling. He's like, it's a tool to be used no matter how alluring it is. So with him, talking into him, Flynn shows like competence without cruelty in the Black Tower. Because he's one of the few Asha'man, and this is why Dahmer Flynn matters as a case study. He's one of the few Asha'man that are even interested in, but also able to heal others. And he's also one of the few that shows a great deal of emotional restraint. You have several Asha'man that are really quick to fly off the handle with like anger, or just pick an emotion that they're really quick to kind of like just jump out about. And it's one of the early problems that the Black Tower has pretty frequently, is just all these people from different backgrounds coming together and losing their shit. But for Dahmer Flynn, once he kind of gets settled into the training, like it's rough, it's rigorous, and there's a really tough leader, but it's really familiar for Dahmer Flynn. It's like being in the military again. Just instead of learning a sword or a pike, you're learning immense cosmic power.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that we kind of see with he is one of the older members of the tower, and I think that's kind of part of what makes him a cooler customer. He has more of the experience, more of the patience, more of the kind of the calm, the
He
ability.
knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two.
That's right. And it just not it takes more to shake him. And if it does, like even when it does, it's gonna take more to show that he's shaken.
Shake him like a Polaroid picture.
I always think one of the fun things as you get older is when you have that, we talk about the Aes Sedai calm, where it's like
Oh yeah.
you see something happen and just, kind of deadpan it. And then once the event is over, when you're somewhere more calm, you're like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Wow. Wow. Okay, I didn't want to say anything, but gosh, but like in the moment, you're just like, yeah, just another Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, what are you doing? How you doing today? Oh, just living the dream. And then you get home and you're like, these fucking morons that I work with, I can't fucking stand them. Nobody fucking helps me around this house. I hate this fucking hellhole.
No, dream about it.
Which, if you haven't seen that video, it's real or TikTok, whatever, it's my favorite one. The dude, it's like the dad trying to replace light bulbs in the ceiling fan, and he's trying to put the globe back on it and screw it back in. And as soon as he gets it kind of in place, it like bumps one of the bulbs, and the bulb like immediately goes out. And he's like, God damn this hellhole! I hate this damn place.
Yeah.
Nobody helps me around here. And I'm like, it's my favorite one right now.
I love
it has
that
been,
clip.
bro.
It's a good one.
Yeah. So now that Josh is back, I completely changed what I was talking about. I don't want to talk about the fun stuff anymore. No, we're playing. But so going through like a mental health lens, because if you didn't know, we here at Black Tower, we're really big into mental health. I think it's incredibly important for everybody. Traditionally, I know we've been like pretty massive proponents of men's mental health specifically, but I'm not gonna pigeonhole Reese into that as well. I mean, obviously, Josh and I are more relatable to that because we are men, at least
Of
males.
the masculine persuasion.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Men by some definitions, boys by others. It depends. That's important to us, and there's a whole history behind that with different people, whatever.
Yeah. But it doesn't stop there. I think that's the important piece to bring up. It doesn't
all
stop
mental
there.
health is important.
We also have a lot of empathy and desire to see everyone have some good mental health and acknowledgement and validation there.
The trade-off of everybody trying to practice good mental health means that all mental health gets considered. You don't have to divide it up.
And also, as a real quick just pin onto that, if you want to do something to improve your mental health, it's going to sound weird, but I promise you will feel so much better about yourself if you take accountability for yourself. When you take that power and you hold yourself accountable and you are your own sort of, nope, I messed up on that and I need to fix it, you'll be happier. Promise.
Also, because with that, when you take accountability for your own actions and your own issues and everything else that's going on, you stop as much feeling like other people are judging you for it because you feel more in control of it. It's a hard thing to start doing, but once you start doing it, it becomes incredibly empowering.
Very.
And if you can't do that, go to the gym because we hide our feelings in our muscles and we work out to get bigger muscles to hide more feelings.
Correct.
Don't do that. I mean, go to the gym, or if you want to, you should try. Physical health is tied to mental health, and mental health is tied to physical health. Like that's a fact. But
it's like a circle.
What goes around comes around. Unfortunately, I'm like a circle,
wheel.
And that's why I'm choosing to go to the gym.
And that's why you're going.
Which it's crazy because like I still say one of my favorite lines is like when people like start talking about like fitness and stuff, and it's like always like the romanticized version of the guy with the six pack. And I'm like, why would you settle for a six pack when you can have the whole keg? My favorite one.
I just thought you put your six pack in the refrigerator.
He was just gonna keep
fair.
blaming you.
Also, to be fair,
I have
he
abs,
is my
and I
younger
love them
brother,
so much.
he has a lot to blame me for.
That's fair. Also, I have abs. I love them, and that's why I protect them with this layer of fat, like a warm hug. Dahmer Flynn through mental health lens. So he channels purpose into service. Like he really focuses on like being professional, putting it over his ego, his own stuff, and just really putting like his purpose behind the service that he's called to do. Especially given the ultimate fate the male channelers are, semi-destined to reach. And then when he discovers that he has aptitude and talent for healing, it really becomes like his grounding mechanism, what really makes him feel like he belongs and has a purpose, and just brings him back to reality and what he can do for the service that's done, so much for him. Because even under Taim, as rough and horrendous as it is from, now our first age, but in the series fourth age aspect, it's there it goes. Fucking my brain was just like, you don't need that thought, it's gone. But it was a good thought too.
But again, he goes. Dahmer Flynn goes from I'm gonna die anyway. Might as well check this out. Oh shit, I can channel. Cool. Now I know how I'm gonna die. To hey, there's something here. And even with the brutality in Taim's training, he was a soldier, so he would expect it to be a little bit more brutal. And frankly, it doesn't matter to him too much because he gets to practice healing more.
And he kind of gets there with the mentality of like, I'm not here for, he doesn't get there for like power, glory, or even the sense of belonging. It's basically like, I'm here to do a job and survive as long as I can, as best as I can. Can I trust you to not get me killed as a fellow Asha'man? But Dahmer Flynn's really cool. Dahmer Flynn, I think, is actually I'm kind of happy that you wound up seeing him first instead of following our carefully curated outline, which shows how like maybe it's not super carefully curated. Because Dahmer Flynn is like a really good middle ground baseline because he's fairly neutral about everything. Like he thinks it's a good thing and it should be there, but also he's like, I'm here to do the job, and here's the slot I fill. I fill this healing slot because nobody else is doing it or interested. It's kind of thing like, I don't have to like you to trust you kind of thing. Can you do the job? Like, you don't have to like the soldier beside you in the foxhole, but can you trust them to have your back? You can think they're an absolute shit person, but are they a good troop that's going to have your back whenever, shit goes down? And that's kind of how Dahmer Flynn looks at everything. Reese, do you want to pick the next one?
Sure.
We have 1, 2, kind of 3 other choices.
Okay.
You can go with the first one, the third one, or the fourth one.
I guess
Basically, you can pick any under Section 2 that's not Dahmer Flynn.
it's Dahmer Flynn. So, a case study on Dahmer Flynn.
Son of a bitch!
Okay, moving on. Okay, I'll go with our original number 1. So that is Andral. Oh yeah, Andral's a pretty, he's a pretty solid character
Very pretty too.
And I think he's one of the ones that he has a unique role here because he's not very powerful, but he still has like a leadership role just by he's somebody that the younger guys feel comfortable around. They trust him. He's got kind of that like dad mentality or kind of presence where it's like he kind of creates that safe haven when stuff starts to go down. He like, instead of just being there to be there, he finds a way to connect with them. Like he's got that experience where he's one of those people that he's done a little bit of everything. You say, does anybody know how to do this? Oh yeah, I've actually done that. It's like, of course you have, Andral. Like, of course you have. Like, and
man has jacked many trades. Tell you that.
And I love him muchly.
Do you know how to play? Like, do you know how to talk to women? No, but I bet Andral does. And he's like, no, I don't. And then Pavar is like, yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
I'm already pregnant.
Andral's like, I filed 72 W-2s one year. I have no idea how to talk to women, but I can make you a wallet in 14 different materials.
Mm-hmm.
I can use a rip in the space-time continuum to make you a fancy leather wallet. I don't know how to talk to no ladies though.
And I think he's one of the ones that it's like he shows like the more, maybe it says here somewhere, but he has that more like genuine brotherhood. Like he does view the other guys in the tower as brothers that he wants to take care of. He wants them to do well, and unfortunately,
It
they're
shows like what the Black Tower could have been.
yeah, exactly. Like, or even what it should have been. You know, maybe not should
Yeah.
have. But it kind of needed its role in its time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, it shows. I think it gives them a really good foundation for a way forward after the Black Tower. Like the relationships that he made, the guidance that he put in place, gives them like a more respect-based foundation as opposed to like a skill, fear, need-based foundation.
Like where Flynn is very much in a like kind of like duty determines attitude kind of mentality, like I'm here to do a job first and foremost kind of thing. Androl is like that kind of like happy-go-lucky person that's there, and it's kind of like also just happy to be included because he's not powerful at all by Asha'man standards, especially compared to everybody else. And he's younger than Flynn, and Flynn completely outclasses him in terms of raw power. But Androl like excels in making a lot of these like informal and unofficial like relationships with people around the tower, where and we see it like really come to fruition and be really good during the Black Tower Civil War, where people agree to follow and do what Androl is like, hey, we need to do this. Not because he's an Asha'man or anything, not because of his rank or status or he's more powerful than you, but because they genuinely like and respect Androl as a good guy.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
I like
Just his rank. It's not just his, you know, authority. Like he doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the rank.
Yeah.
But he's
he's the weak hero in the isekai that has to persuade people that he's strong or that he's doing the right thing. Like he can't brute force. Like Mazrim Taim brute force everybody into everything. Androl, he's slipping honey in your ear. He's like, hey, it'd be really cool if you help me save everyone.
And he's opening a little way over your tea to pour some honey into it.
Yeah. Bruh, Androl pours tea through gateways, confirmed.
Nice.
Honey, you're going to spill that on the floor and gateways it into the sink.
Oh!
You were wrong again, Bavara. It's just like, I fucking hate you.
The cool thing I like about Androl is that Androl spent his entire life looking for a place where he fit in, right? So, and he did. He ended up doing like everything. The man has stories of cliff diving with sea folk, and whoever jumps off the highest cliffs gets the most honor. And he jumped off the highest cliff. He jumped higher than most sea folk would willing to jump. And it's because he knew he had nothing to lose. He like suspected always that he could channel because he, you know, his father could. And so he's been looking for home ever since. And when he comes to the Black Tower and he gets that confirmation, not only that he can channel, but that other channelers are going to be there, he immediately has this sense of, I'm home. And so, Reese, what you're saying about him being protective and him saying, you know, oh, you know, we've got to take care of this. This is he takes ownership of the Black Tower very early on. Like, this is my home. I'm going to take care of it. You are my family, and I'm going to take care of you. And that's why, you know, he is angry when he starts to see, you know, the changes that happen at the Black Tower. But he's not angry at the people who are being manipulated. He's very sad for those people. He's angry that it's happening and that he doesn't know how to stop it yet.
You know, Androl right now, as we're talking about him, he kind of reminds me of like Johnny Cash, like a Johnny Cash like figure. He's been tons of places, has tons of stories, has like a really likable personality, gets along with people, has a pretty like good internal compass of like right and wrong, you know, but also like as he isn't like uniquely over the top special over anyone else. Like,
right.
You know, it's a situation that you know, allows him to kind of like get the super notoriety. And the fact that he is such a kind and like grounded character is, I think, why so many people, you know, come to love Androl. I mean, as like, you know, the sweetheart of the Black Tower. You know, the guy that's doing his best, doesn't have the most power, but uses what he has to incredible efficiency, winds up winning the heart of Pavara, and making like, you know, one of like the only healthy relationships in the entirety of the Wheel of Time. Most of them are toxic as fuck, or just dysfunctional, or just like, what the fuck? But not Androl and Pavara. They're just like the fucking like Green Acres, like farmer family.
Like
They're
this.
just like, they're just good. They're like, we got a patch of land, we got a farm, and we're happy. That's all that matters.
Green Acres is the place for me.
Farm living is
is
life.
the life for me. Good times.
Land spreading out the countryside. Forget Manhattan, just give me that countryside. I know I fucked with the lyrics, but I've seen it. I've seen Green Acres. It's a fantastic show. No, New York is where I'd rather stay. I don't know why I made her like some weird Irish kind of thing. She's definitely not Irish, but anyway.
She's not. It's true.
Next one. Let's do Narishma. Narishma is a good case study to kind of look at through the lens of like obedience, isolation, and identity loss. He matters because he's trusted and competent, but he's completely emotionally distant from everybody else in the Black Tower. He's there. He does his job well. He's really good at it. You can trust him to do it. He knows what he's doing. He's really skilled, but he's never gonna open up about anything. He's that troop that goes in, and what he does day to day for his job is what defines who he is as a troop. But you have no idea if he has a family, if he has a wife, if he has kids, what his hobbies are, his favorite color. You don't even know when the dude likes to go to sleep. Know nothing really about him on a more personal level. It's all functional. And through, again, that mental health lens for Narishma, this is that kind of like emotional suppression in favor of reliability. If I kill my emotions, I'm more reliable. You can count on me for the same. And as a part of that too, like he's largely quiet. He doesn't speak a lot. He doesn't talk to people a lot about anything. And generally when he talks, it's because the mission dictates it. But still, this winds up being the guy that's so competent and so trustworthy that he winds up being the one to fulfill a portion of the prophecy to bring Kalendor to Rand. Like, when he literally could have taken it as, I think by that time the Choden Call have been melted, essentially. So at the time he brings it to him, it's the strongest Sa Angreal that we're aware of.
Yeah.
Like, he had a real opportunity at just immense power as an individual. I mean, it would immense like dickish action to just take it and fuck off. But also like he gained an immediate spot of like permanent trust with Rand because Rand is so invested in the prophecy. It said that whoever fulfilled this portion of requirement of the prophecy, whoever brought him Kalendor would be forever loyal, and you would never have to question their loyalty. And when you look at the characterization of Narishma as this duty focused, I'm doing my job the best I possibly can. You don't need to know anything about me to understand me as a coworker, basically.
Right.
It's almost like they're for just the pure need of function and trustworthiness. He's that guy that doesn't let any part of the regulation slip, no matter how much sense it makes. It's like, no, the letter of the regulation says it's got to be 3/4 of an inch, and you're at a 1/2 inch. I know it's close, but it's not right. I'm docking you. No, you can't fix it and come back later. Your inspection is now, and you're wrong. So he's like an unmoving kind of goalpost of just, this is the standard and this is what we're gonna do, and it works out in the end because Narishma becomes one of the more remembered characters because of the function he serves for Rand. But he's really only good about it because he's like I don't know how much either of you have gone into. I know Josh has watched Naruto, but like the origin story of what is his name? The original White Fang, Kakashi's dad. But basically, long story short, the dude was super powerful, never failed the mission, but then he finally does fail. He fails one because he abandons the intent of the mission to save his friends that are on his team. And then like the whole village considers him a failure. His teammates that he saved consider him a failure, and it drives him to end his own life, kind of thing. Like that kind of like unwavering loyalty to the standard kind of thing. Like there's never an exception, like kind of thing. That because that that allusion to Naruto is because the way Kakashi's dad goes out forms early Kakashi, who only cares about the rules and regulations, doesn't give a shit about anything else, and will abandon his team to just make the rules happen. And it reminds me a bit of Narishma, because with that, like, he values the Black Tower and its function over his own well-being, which there can be a bit of nobility in that. But people like Narishma in this kind of institute, they survive, they do well, but it comes at an immense personal cost because they like never learn to really socialize with the people around them,
Yeah,
and they wind up being emotionally closed off, and it's not good.
From the description, it almost seems like if he couldn't channel, he probably would have been more comfortable as a white cloak. But he kind of seems like that like quiet observer kind of person where what makes him loyal is not so much that it's that he's able to kind of see the whole thing because he doesn't get too involved with it. He's
kind of like Gallad in that way, right?
A little bit.
Galad, excuse me. Oh, I said Gallad.
Galad.
Okay, cool. So we do have a fourth one to go over. I can do it super quick if you guys want, or one of y'all can do it super quick if you want, or we can just skip to part 3 where we do a comparison between White Cloaks and Black Tower.
Let's skip.
Yeah, let's go to 3.
All right. So now for this, we're gonna we got some characters that, because we use case studies in both the White Cloaks and the Black Tower, we can kind of compare and contrast a bit of the themes with the characters. So when it comes to the theme of a healthy outcome, how things ultimately went with the outcome of the characters, under the White Cloaks we have Galad, under the Black Tower we have Andral and Flynn. They both get all 3 characters in their independent organizations get a pretty good outcome. It comes out healthy. Their existence within the Black Tower is pretty healthy. It's a pretty supportive experience for men's mental health and just men's kind of like brotherhood and shit. Broken outcome. White Cloaks, we have Dane Bornhald. I don't think we need to say too much more on that. Dane's kind of but then on the Black Tower side, we get on the Black Tower we kind of get Taim's loyalist. I would say they get more fucked than Dane Bornhald does because of the ramifications of them being loyalist to a guy that becomes a literal member of the Forsaken. And Dane Bornhald just has a massive hard-on for murdering a specific guy from the Two Rivers based on a lie.
You do.
Or misinterpretation of events, whichever way you want to go with it, because the TV show chose to make him an actual problem rather than how it actually happened. Failures of their system, failures of the White Cloak system would be they want up weaponizing grief. Which we really see with Dane Bornhald. They're like, oh, you're really sad about something? Let's turn it into, your desire to murder all the light following people. And he's like, fucking Perrin. And it's funny that he's got such a hard-on for killing the most do-nothing character.
It is indeed.
For the Black Tower, the system's failure is trauma gets normalized. Like, yeah, it's traumatic. That shit sucks. Blowing somebody's head off and making it pop like a fucking balloon, pretty traumatic. Just another Tuesday at the Black Tower. Hey, your best friend that you've been talking to at night and sharing secrets and stories and talking about family for the last 8 months finally went fully insane, and so we just killed him. Or said he was going to leave the Black Tower, so we nailed him to the traitor's tree. Oh, you feel sad about that? We're going to train you extra hard because you need to get over those emotions. Again, still think the Black Tower bit more fucked on that aspect than the White Cloaks are.
Yeah.
But leadership effect. White Cloaks, generally speaking, for the majority of the series, we have Petronile versus Eamon Valda, and the way they lead the White Cloaks. Valda being horrendously violent and manipulative, and just kind of fuck you all. We're gonna make everybody pay for everything. Versus the Black Tower, where Rand is like, make this thing. I'm going to visit twice, never be there, never look into what's going on, never question, despite all my paranoia that I especially get when Taima's around, what's going on in the literal human weapons factory that I founded, which enables Taim to do whatever he wants. And the lack of recognition by Rand, the lack of respect from Rand, and the alluring prospects from the Forsaken, especially given that Shiva is a Forsaken in disguise at the Black Tower, manipulating shit too, and showing him like, hey man, life could be so much easier if you just join the Shadow, and then if you join me, you'll be protected from going mad, and anyone else you turn to our side will also be protected from going mad, so you don't have to kill anybody. You know, Rand's absent father mentality here really bites the Black Tower in the ass. Because the Black Tower Civil War happens pretty close to the last battle. It's not far off. And they lose over half of the manpower that Taim has gathered.
It's actually during the opening volleys of the last battle. Like,
is it really?
The 5 armies are at Marilor. They're gearing up, ready to fight.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
fighting.
they're staging.
Yeah. And
they're
and
staging
as a
for
matter
combat,
of fact,
and the Black Tower is like, eh.
As a matter of fact, the forces of the shadow are like, where the hell is Taim? He's supposed to be here right now. And he can't make it because he's currently being attacked by his own people. They're having a revolution at the Black Tower.
Andral sets Loghain free, and Loghain leads the charge against the Taim faction. But still, it's over half of the tower is gone.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
After Taim's turning and the Civil War. So they're in a really bad situation. They're at less than half the strength that I'm sure Rand was expecting. But also, at this point, we're getting Bodhisattva for Rand, so he's probably like, eh.
It'll be fine, man. The wheel weaves, brah.
So, anything y'all have to say anymore about comparing those individuals between White Cloaks and Black Tower before we move to the next section? Because I don't want to just power us through this just because we're like at the hour mark.
I like the comparison to the leadership aspect of it because, you know, as we hear time and time again, people don't quit jobs, they quit managers, right? And leadership can make or break an organization. Leadership does make or break an organization. The success of an organization is entirely tied to the leadership of that organization. There is very few instances and I would actually, I'm going to say it like this. I charge you, find a single incident in which the organization failed not because, and they still had good leadership. It's impossible.
Easy there, wear them on.
You can't
I'm going to charge you.
Good leadership and fail organizationally. You can't.
Wrong.
When you have the White Cloaks in charge, you know, when Pedro Niall is in charge of the White Cloaks, they're successful. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. Eamon Valda takes over, and they immediately their worst impulses are rewarded. They become so much more brutish and so much more savage under Valda, so much more absolute. And then Galad takes over and he brings temperance and wisdom with him to the role of Lord Captain Commander. And I think a lot of the White Cloaks are relieved. And that's good. That's a good thing. The same can be said with leadership at the Black Tower. When you have Taim, at first it's very savage, it's very brutal, but it's effective. So we just kind of sweep it under the rug. We let it go. Then we find out something's not right here, and there must be an expeditious change in leadership. And Andral recognizes this. Recognizes that he is the one for the job, and he doesn't want to be the one for the job, but he steps up to do what he knows he is able to do. That is also a sign of good leadership. So once again, it doesn't matter if you have magic powers or not. If you have good leadership, you can cultivate themes and culture that will lead to an organization's success. And we see that. And Robert Jordan understood that clearly. I imagine he served in more than one military squad that had poor leadership. And I'll bet he watched people die for it.
I mean,
because that's how it is.
He was a helicopter door gunner in Vietnam.
I mean,
you're talking about a war. You're talking about a war where more people got field promotion to officer ranks to lead platoons. Therefore, a war that hit a point where the average normal life expectancy for a field grade officer on the ground was like a day.
Yeah.
At one point, if not less than that. I can't remember the exact number, but it was incredibly short, especially considering like the modern standards you have to meet to even become an officer. Imagine doing all of that to become a fucking second lieutenant just to get like fucking killed within the first day that you're in the field.
Ooh, That'd be rough.
Like, that's why you had so many people that like enlisted and they were there fighting, and they're like, I am a sergeant. And they're like, well, your platoon leader just died, so field promotion. You're now a second lieutenant. You're in charge of the entire platoon. And I'm like, I don't want to be a second lieutenant. Those guys die within a day. Like, this fucking sucks. No. But you got anything to add, Reese? Not saying you have to, but just giving you the opportunity.
No, I think it's an interesting comparison between the two. I think what's kind of interesting is where it's almost they have so many comparisons in their failures, which is funny because the White
It's like
Cloaks
3 out of
have
4.
been set up for a very long time. They are not actively planning for yes, they are preparing for the last battle, but it's not like this is our main goal. Like, that's not, like, they're just defending the light. The Black Tower was specifically made for the last battle as like an extra weapon. They, like, yes, there are shortcomings with the Black Tower, and I kind of feel like they kind of get like an emergency pass here because we just need to get it together and get it working. And so, yes, I think there are really great things that came out of it that make it possible for it to continue into the future. But I think it's interesting how a thrown together, let's just get every male channeler, whatever, degree of madness he is here, trained and on the battlefield, is obviously going to have some failures. And yet, so does the one that's been together for a really long time.
Right.
And so it's like, I actually feel like as much as they both fail, I think it actually bodes much better for the Black Tower in that they have a very strong structure moving forward. They did forge some great relationships and did actually make some foundations. They might have blown them up, but they can rebuild them. And I think that actually, sometimes you gotta blow it up to move forward, and it might be better that the White Cloaks kind of blew their structure up as well. Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Break the seals!
Break the seals! That's a perfect example of that, though. Rand straight up says, no, we can't just, anything we do would be putting a Band-Aid over it. We have to break them, and we have to just remake this thing from scratch. And that happens. That's life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they had to do with the tower. They had to make it just to get to the last battle, and like, okay, now let's break that. Redo it with the future in mind.
Now we got to figure out our new purpose.
Mm-hmm.
No, I completely agree. So when we talk about these case studies in mass, I mean, we have from the White Cloaks Gallant, who experiences the fact that certainty in your desires, your direction helps some. Andral shows us that shared experience helps other folks, but ultimately neither system, the White Cloaks or the Black Tower, teaches any kind of emotional processing, any kind of compassionate accountability, or any mechanisms for recovering from trauma. And that leaves us with the kind of this kind of final takeaway. Or go ahead, Reese.
No, good.
Oh, sorry. Kind of leaves us with this final takeaway that Brotherhood in and of itself is not enough for mental health for men, especially. That Brotherhood without vulnerability becomes, in the case of the White Cloaks, extremism, and in the case of the Black Tower, brutality. And that the healthiest men in these systems, they succeed in spite of the organization they're a part of, not because of the organization they're a part of. Right. And the broken men that are a part of this organization are the ones that each organization claims to help. And to tie this in a bit with RJ's experience with the military and with especially Vietnam, he writes both the White Cloaks and the Black Tower as systems he's seen both work and fail on real men in the army, in the military. His writing seems to acknowledge that a system can produce results and fantastical results at that, but also be completely psychologically destructive to the members that are doing it. you expend gunpowder and lead when you fire a gun, and these systems expend like the emotional and mental toll on men to achieve results. And they both kind of champion this idea that obedience matters more than well-being. Emotional suppression is rewarded. And weakness, whether it's real or perceived weakness, the mentality is it gets people killed. You're going to die if you're if you're weak in any way, shape, or form. So with the White Cloaks, you get this ideological indoctrination. With the Black Tower, you get combat stress without support, just nonstop, tail to head, never-ending missions. So you see men thrown into situations that they don't fully understand. You see a rapid escalation from training to lethal stakes. You see leaders who may or may not deserve that loyalty. And Brotherhood formed through a shared danger, not really emotional safety. And it causes things like the Black Tower to feel authentic. And at least with the Black Tower, it's not romanticized as being... When you really get into the grit of what it is, it's not romanticized as being a fantastic place. As much as like we joke here about, oh, the Black Tower, come join the Black Tower, it's a great place to be. It is in the Fourth Age, but in the Third Age, it's competent, but it's terrifying and unsustainable. Which is why, after the last battle, Logain is like, yeah, I'm going to be in charge, and we're going to be making some changes, and not enable that kind of shit that was happening.
I think
we're gonna do some things a little differently, guys.
Yeah, not only isn't it sustainable, it wasn't ever meant to be. Like they weren't supposed to still be around.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're still here. Well, okay, let's make some changes.
Yeah. So kind of like part of Robert Jordan's potential critiques here, obviously I can't speak for him, are things like, critiquing the discipline without compassion. The people that have authority, but there's no accountability for their authority. They can do whatever. Having these structures of brotherhood without any kind of care, any kind of like actual emotional vulnerability and bonding that happens amongst them. And ultimately these produce short-term effectiveness, but long-term psychological damage. And this would be the exact same thing that Robert Jordan would have seen through his training and in Vietnam. Hey man, get it together. Don't be weak. People next to you are going to die. Just suck it up. This whole suck it up, be a man kind of mentality that basically makes you accountable for failures and weakness in a way that will like, just overlook it and get past it, complete the mission kind of thing, rather than, hey, let's finish this task and then, we'll deal with what's going on. I really like this concept or this idea that Robert Jordan understood that breaking men can make them useful, but it will never make them whole. And that's frequently what happens. I mean, we see it. Have either of y'all seen the movie Fury? About the tanks in World War II? So basically, like in Fury, there's your main characters are in a tank, and they just lost their assistant driver guy in combat. And literally, and this happened all the time in World War II, they just grabbed some random dude from a line of guys walking to do shit with the army and said, you're coming with us, and sent this guy to the stake. This guy was supposed to be like a typist. He was supposed to basically be typing reports in the field for the army. That's what he joined and was certified for. But they just grabbed him out of the line and said, you're in the army, you're going to do what we tell you to. And they make him be the gunner. And he understandably has a massive aversion to pulling the trigger on the machine gun he has in the tank. And you see the ramifications because the movie also portrays that his hesitancy almost got the tank destroyed. And his hesitancy before that did get another tank completely destroyed that had like their officer commander for the whole column. And to combat that, the tank commander of his tank forces a gun in his hand on a prisoner of war and forces him to use the gun to shoot him. Like he's literally holding his hand, puts his finger around the trigger. And it's basically the tank commander does everything, but he does it using his body to kind of and it's like the this whole thing like he's breaking the guy down from the I can't do this to be like, look, you just did it.
Done it. Let's go.
Yeah. Now let's get back to the war because we don't have time for your sensitivities kind of thing.
Or not only that, but also your sensitivities are going to get us killed.
Yeah.
and it's hard because and it is brutal and it is savage, and it's one of those things that it puts me if I'm the tank commander in that situation, it puts me in a situation to say, okay, I can be insensitive to this person's feelings and they can get over it. They can struggle and they can have stress and they can have trauma, but they can get over it.
But they'll be
Or-
alive to have it.
And they'll be alive to have it. Or I can literally sacrifice my life and everybody else's
Or
lives
we all die
in this
because
tank
he's not willing to do what needs
because
to be.
he's not willing to
It becomes
play
one of
his
those,
part.
the many versus the few. Like in this scenario where it's somebody who did not select that position, they were never supposed to have that role.
Right.
To put
It's
them
not
in there.
fair.
It's very possible that they might live through that scenario, but they might not make it long past that. And, you know, they just don't have the capacity to take it. And that's just everybody has a different ability. But when you're in that scenario, what do? You have yourself
Exactly.
or
Exactly.
all of these people. And that's where, like, that's the, you know, philosophy 101, the many versus the few. What do?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Make that call. As the commander there, you got to make that call. Like,
So here as final thought, I know our outline doesn't really have us actually picking out one that does better than the other, which I don't like. I can't stand. That's the whole premise of the part 1 and part 2. So we're gonna force ourselves to pick one. With all of this laid out, with their innards laid bare and their motives naked to the world to see, who do you think of the two provides a better environment for brotherhood and men's mental health? Josh, we're gonna start with you. White Cloaks or the Black Tower?
I'm gonna say the Black Tower, and I know that sounds biased, but I do have a valid reason, or what I think to be
I
a valid
imagine you
reason.
would.
It goes back to why did you join? For me, in my mind, it goes back to why did I join?
Die at home with the family or die here with the boys? Which one do you want me to take?
Exactly. I want to die with the boys. No.
What can I do?
The White Cloaks have a mandate ultimately that is one of destruction and death for the sake of destruction and death. Their mandate is to rid the world of Aes Sedai. And of course they don't know about this because they don't have this as part of their mandate because they were founded at a time in which Aes Sedai just meant Aes Sedai. But of course, throughout the years, Aes Sedai became women who can channel. So, their
For them, Aes
mandate
Sedai have always been women.
Well, but men were also Aes Sedai in the Age of Legends.
No. The White Cloaks were founded in the Third Age. They didn't exist in the Second Age.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the original Doctor. So like they're. Sorry.
Point being,
I'm an asshole for interrupting, but like their whole thing is they believe that the ability to use magic should be reserved for the creator.
Right.
People should not be allowed to use it, and so therefore the Aes Sedai must be evil because they're using what they see as a forbidden power.
Right. So point being, their mandate
it's like
is
an allegory for the Salem witch trials.
to remove from humanity. Their mandate is to take human life. They don't want to see channelers alive. Okay, that's their mandate, which means ultimately their goal, their behavior, their day-to-day is going to be rooted in suspicion, anticipation. I'm going to use my sword. They want to get rid of dark friends. They see suspicion everywhere, and I think it's a system that preys on my fear as a person. And ultimately, I'm ignorant of these 100 people around me. I don't know anything about them. One of them is definitely a dark friend, but which one? Until I know which one, I have to treat all of them as potential dark friends. That's toxic as fuck. So while I'm forming bonds with my bros here who also have white cloaks and swords, our mandate, our goal is very toxic. We are very suspicious. We are very afraid, and that's a problem. So I think the Black Tower, their mandate, now granted, of course, we run into a speed bump with Taim when he becomes more toxic, but the mandate there is I will forge myself into a weapon, and with my last dying breath, I too will scream defiance in the Dark One's face. And there's something noble about that. I give my life not to servitude, not to slavery, not to destruction of another organization. I give my life is already not mine. I'm already going to die. So I give what life I have left to training so that I can defend those behind me. And I think that foundationally is going to be better for someone's mental health in the long run. Sorry, that was a very long-winded answer.
I mean, I also interrupted you and prolonged it too. So.
But anyway, yeah,
My assistant needs to fulfill the well, actually role. Reese, what do you think? Which one did it better? The White Cloaks, the Children of the Light, and their infinite moral superiority, or the Black Tower, an amnesty sanctuary for men that are gonna die anyway?
I agree with Josh. I think the Black Tower did it better. I think that similar to that reason and being just kind of based in the eradication of people, of a group of people they disagree with. I think it almost it kind of like makes a breeding ground for like people to come and like take their hatred out on like, oh, like I have this issue and I'm just gonna take it right out on these bloody witches. And it's like, okay, or maybe I don't know. And I think while there is like opportunity to kind of give that camaraderie and that support to one another where they can kind of forge more healthy ways forward and ways to address those issues, I think just kind of being what it is at the time and who's running it, that doesn't help their ulterior motives, which you kind of wonder, if somebody else had been running it, how would it have gone? Would they have had better programs in place? Would they have tried to foster more like healthy relations, a better path to like make people grow? Who knows? But I think that just being what it is at this age, face value, you have to give it to the Black Tower just because, yeah, these people are coming together for, I guess, a bigger purpose, even just because it's like, it's not just I want to do my part. It's I'm going to die and I'm going to go out strong. Like, and so I think it gives kind of that, like, they already have that like bond just by being there, like just by the fact that they joined. It's not that they have like similar ideals or mindsets, like they might completely have opposite ideals, can't stand each other, would never want to hang out with each other, but damn it, they're going to die together. Might as well make it a good one. And I think that's kind of it forces those bonds, and that ends up accidentally creating some better paths forward. Whereas I think the White Cloaks have to really kind of like do an overhaul and fix the system, whereas like the Black Tower, it's kind of built in. You just got to get the dark friends out and you can kind of move forward. So it might be faulty, but it's got a better base, I think.
Love it.
I like it. I agree with the decision of the Black Tower, purely from the aspect that the Black Tower allows for individuality. White Cloaks don't really. Like, you've got to conform and be a part of the thing. The Black Tower, like, as long as it's a black cloak, we don't care the style, what it's made of. That doesn't matter. You can bring your family, so like once you're done with all your shit, you can still hang out with your family. They allow the retention of emotional attachments and individual expression. White Cloaks don't. They're like, no, you're gonna wear the same shit as your brothers, and if you have an issue with that, you must be a dark friend and you should die. Black Tower's like, it's a black coat. Fucking wear it.
Just wear it.
Like, that's it. Oh, you brought your wife? That's cool. As long as she's good with hanging out over there and helping the other people do other chores and shit while you're out here, like, trying not to lose your head, fantastic. So, that for me, that's the one. Like of the two, like they're not even two sides of the same coin. They're both coins. They're similar in denomination, but you know, the Black Tower at least allows individual expression. That's why we're able to have like, you know, characters like Andral. You have the characters that can be super personable and hang out with people and do stuff like that. And then you have the characters like Narishma. They can just sit there and be like an enigma as far as they're concerned. Like, you have no idea what's happened in my life, and you never will.
Yeah.
So, you know, because they allow that bit of individualism, I'm going to say that they perform better. Because in the words of John Proctor from The Crucible, they at least give them their name.
Love it. You're a man of culture, I see as well.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's a really early movie where you get to see people dancing naked around a fire in the woods. I got to watch an English class in high school, like, because we read The Crucible and then we got to watch The Crucible, and it was really good, actually. Clearly, because I still remember it. So, but yeah,
I played Giles Corey in The Crucible. I did a play where I was Giles Corey. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. What do you think? Who do you think promotes a better health, safety, and well-being for their members? Who do you think cultivates a more healthy atmosphere for their members, Black Tower or the White Cloaks? Is there another organization you think does a better job? Is there another organization you think does a worse job? Hey, let us know.
we're not asking you if
put it
they're
down in the
toxic. We're asking you
comments.
which one do you think is the least toxic of.
There you go. But let us know in the comments down below. Also, if there's something we missed, know in the comments down below. We love all you internet experts who love to tell us how wrong we are. It's
Or
great.
email us. Or let us know on some other social media, which you can find at blacktowerpod.com. For those of us here at the Black Tower Podcast, we appreciate y'all listening and dealing with our shenaniganry. We will see you again next week for the next episode where we talk about more Wheel of Time, because we still got to plan that episode topic. So no extra teaser for you. Anyway, I've been your Botch of Hell. My name's Andrew. Thank you so much.
I've been your Ethan Mahale. I'm Reese.
And I have been Josh, your Solomon Mahale. Thank you for tuning in this week for the episode of the Black Tower Podcast. Tune in next week. Same tainted time, same tainted channel. Black Tower Podcast.
Bye-bye.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow. In the shadows, always watching, always running the show.